What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to give my prediction for the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Mississippi State Bulldogs. But if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And by doing so, it greatly helps out my channel and it helps me grow as a content creator. Well, we have a SEC matchup with the two Bulldogs. You got the #1 team in the country in the Georgia Bulldogs. If they're not currently #1, they're definitely going to be #1 when the rankings come out. And they're going against a Mississippi State team, you know, that's pretty good. They had a couple of games where they dropped, and they're coming off a victory against Auburn. Still a deadly team as far as offensive. They run the air raid, so pretty good offensive team, and they're not slouch on defense as well. And Georgia's going on the road, and it's a road game, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But I'm gonna look at the stats for the game. Of course, Georgia has Stetson Bennett. What can I say? Stand-up dude. Is doing exactly what he's supposed to do with his team, leading his team to an undefeated season so far. And so far, he's thrown for 2,606 yards with 11 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. Like I said, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Got that team playing at a very, very high level. And Georgia looks really, really tough right now. And of course, Mississippi State has Will Rogers. What can I say about this guy? Setting records in the SEC. One of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, if not, in college football. He's thrown for 2,912 yards with 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. So the record, proves, how good he is, and definitely a great quarterback. Georgia has Dejon Edwards at running back, beast of a player. Ran for 486 yards so far with 7 touchdowns. Mauling guy. This guy is electric, very, very physical. Runs behind a good offensive line in Georgia. Just hard to stop. And of course, Mississippi State has Dylan Johnson, and he has 406 yards with 3 touchdowns. So another guy, really, really good running back for Mississippi State. Of course, Georgia has Brock Bowers. Guy has 574 yards with 3 touchdowns. Huge guy, hard to take down. It's very, very fast for a guy of his size. And Mississippi State's going to definitely have to keep an eye on him. Runs like a wide receiver, but big like a tight end. So just a mismatch. Of course, Mississippi State has Ra Thomas. He has 540 yards with 5 touchdowns. So another great player. This is going to be an interesting matchup, guys. Like I said, Mississippi State is hosting Georgia, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Points per game, Georgia is averaging 40 points per game. Mississippi State is averaging 32 points per game, so Georgia has the advantage there. Points allowed per game, Georgia is allowing a whopping 10.8 points per game. Very, very good defense, guys. Elite at all levels. That's insane. Keep in mind, Georgia lost a lot of guys to the draft last season, and they're still holding teams to 10 points. I think last season they was holding them to 7, but 10 is still good. It's like Georgia hasn't missed a beat. Mississippi State is only allowing 24 points a game, so clearly Georgia has the advantage both offensively and defensively going into this matchup. Total yards per game, Georgia's averaging 514.2 total yards per game. Mississippi State is averaging 406.2 yards per game. So Georgia has the advantage there. Georgia's getting 320 through the air, and they're getting 194 on the ground. Very balanced team. And you running for 194. Ooh, that's doggone near unstoppable. That's really, really good. Mississippi State is averaging 325 through the air, so similar to Georgia, just a little bit better than Georgia, and they only averaging 80 yards on the ground. So, of course, Mississippi State airs the ball out. It's an air raid offense, but considering that Georgia is like right there behind them, so Georgia passes the ball just as well as anybody right now. Yards allowed, Georgia's allowing only 265.6 per game. Mississippi State is allowing 360.8 total yards per game. So Georgia has the advantage. If we were to break that down, Georgia's allowing 179 through the air, and they're only allowing 86 on the ground. Mississippi State is allowing 210 through the air, and they're averaging 150 on the ground. That's not good going into this matchup, allowing 150, giving up to opponents in a team like Georgia that likes to run the ball. Look at both teams' opponents. Of course, Georgia went on the road to Missouri, and they scraped out a win. Missouri played them very, very well, but nevertheless, Georgia got the victory, beat them 26-22, and of course, they had a game against Kent State and Stanford, games where, offensively they wasn't where they needed to be, but Georgia has since turned around, and they're on a roll right now. They beat Auburn 42-10 at home, beat Vanderbilt 55-0 at home, beat Florida 42-20, just ran away with the game. Then, of course, last Saturday, beat the number one team in Tennessee 27-13. Georgia completely dominated that game, and in my opinion, submitted themselves. Anybody at this point that don't look at Georgia as the number one team, I don't know what you're looking at. They're clearly the number one team in the country right now. Mississippi State, on the other hand, beat Texas A&M, beat them 42-24. Completely shut down Texas A&M. A game that I thought was going to be a little bit closer, but Mississippi State came out and just completely annihilated them. Beat an Arkansas team 40-17, just on a roll. Then went on the road, went to Kentucky and lost 27-17. Kentucky was the first team to shut them down, defensively. Kentucky had pretty good defense, and they was only able to score 17 points that game, like I said, on the road. Then went on the road to Alabama, lost 30-6. Alabama shut them down even further, but then they just had their last matchup against Auburn, had to go into overtime, but beat them 39-33, a game that went back and forth. And Auburn had, interim coach, Callette Williams, to be the head coach, and he coached Auburn up to, make the game close on the road. But nevertheless, Mississippi State, pulled out the victory, close victory in overtime. I'm looking at the spread. Currently Georgia is a 16.5 point favorite. I could definitely see that. Georgia's on a roll. They have one of the best offenses and the best defense in the country. Mississippi State, in my opinion, is a slightly, probably a good bit better defensive team than Tennessee. And like I said, Georgia's going on the road. But if I had to give my prediction, it's hard to deny what Georgia is doing right now. Kirby Smart got them guys playing at a high level. They definitely look like the Alabama of old, and it's going to be hard for anybody to beat this Georgia team. So I got Georgia win this game, and I got them win at a score of 28-10. I think Mississippi State will be able to get a touchdown, maybe late in the game, and maybe a field goal. But I got Georgia win this game, and I think that's slightly over the spread. I'd say it's 16.5. I think that's right at like 18 points. I could definitely see that. Georgia's just too good right now. I don't see anybody beating them in college football right now. Of course, it's on the road. Those cowbells are going to be, ringing, but I can't deny what Georgia's doing right now. They're clearly the best team in the country right now, and I think they continue to win and get another victory. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section. And then once again, guys, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.